Focus on this security camera footage. November 2019. A hospice facility in Charleston, South Carolina. A hallway. Sterile lighting. Camera angle from the ceiling. A nurse exits room 14. Behind her, an elderly woman, frail hands gripping a walker. They stop. The old woman breaks down. The nurse turns and holds her. 6 seconds. That's all the camera captured. But 4 years later, this 6-second clip will be used as evidence in a murder trial. Because the nurse in this video? She'll be found executed in the woods of northern Georgia. Shot once. Back of the head. And the elderly woman's family will say this footage proves she was being manipulated. Proves she was exploited. Proves a crime was committed long before the murder. But what if I told you? This video shows something else entirely. April 22, 2023. 7:18 a.m. Chattahoochee National Forest, Georgia. A jogger on the Appalachian Trail connector spots something 40 feet off the path, a body, partially concealed under brush. Mid-50s. Face down. The jogger dials 911. By 8:03 a.m., Lumpkin County Sheriff's deputies arrive. They identify her as Anna Hendrix, age 54, hospice nurse, resident of Dahlonega, Georgia. Single gunshot wound. Back of the skull. Execution style. The medical examiner estimates she'd been there less than 18 hours. Her car, a silver 2019 Honda CR-V, is found 3 miles away on a fire access road. Engine cold. Driver's door open. Inside the vehicle, her purse, her phone, her wallet with $340 cash still inside. On her body, a diamond bracelet, a Seiko watch, and a gold wedding band from a previous marriage. Nothing taken. This wasn't a mugging. This wasn't random. This was planned. So who was Anna Hendrix? And why would someone execute her in the woods? To understand that, you need to know the person she cared for. But first, Anna herself. Born 1969, raised in Marietta, Georgia. Daughter of a factory worker and a school librarian. Wanted to be a nurse since she was 12 years old, inspired by the nurses who cared for her grandmother during cancer treatment. Put herself through nursing school at Georgia State, working nights at a diner, weekends at a grocery store. Graduated 1996. Spent her 20s in Atlanta hospitals, ER rotations, ICU shifts, trauma units. High pressure. High burnout. By 2006, age 37, Anna was exhausted. She transferred to hospice care. Slower pace. Quieter rooms. Deeper connections. She thrived. Patients requested her by name. Families wrote letters praising her compassion. Anna wasn't just clinical, she was present. She sat with people. She listened. She made the dying feel seen. In August 2007, Anna was assigned to a new patient. Shirley Kral. Age 71. Stage 4 ovarian cancer. Shirley lived alone in a sprawling estate outside Roswell, Georgia. 6,400 square feet, gated entrance, worth $2.3 million. Wealthy. Very wealthy. Her late husband, Martin Kral, had built a commercial HVAC empire across the Southeast. Sold the business in 2005 for $14 million. Martin died suddenly in 2006 heart attack at age 68. Left Shirley with an estate valued at $11.7 million. Shirley had 2 adult children. A son, Nathaniel Alexander, 46, lived in Denver. Corporate attorney. A daughter, Karen Summers, 43, lived in Phoenix. Marketing executive. Both had careers. Both had families. Both visited their mother, rarely. Nathaniel came twice in 2007. Karen came once. By 2008, neither had visited in over 6 months. And that's when Anna Hendrix became more than Shirley's nurse. She became her companion, her friend. Some would say, her only family. Before I show you what happened next, and trust me, what investigators found will shock you. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This case has twists you won't believe, and I break down true crime cases like this every week. Drop a comment telling me, have you ever seen a family turn on someone out of pure greed? Alright, let's get back to Shirley and Anna. Shirley's prognosis was uncertain. The cancer had spread to her lymph nodes. Treatment would be aggressive. Chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. The hospice agency sent Anna to provide supportive care during treatment. Anna visited Shirley 3 times a week, helped with medication side effects, monitored symptoms, provided companionship during the hardest days. Shirley and Anna connected immediately. Shirley appreciated Anna's calm demeanor, her honesty. Anna didn't sugarcoat the reality of the disease, but she also didn't make Shirley feel hopeless. They talked about life, about Shirley's late husband, about her children, about regrets and gratitude. Over the months, they became close. Not just nurse and patient, friends. By early 2008, Shirley's cancer went into remission. The tumors had shrunk. Scans were clear. She didn't need hospice care anymore. Anna's assignment ended, but Shirley and Anna stayed in touch. They exchanged phone calls, occasional visits. Shirley considered Anna a friend, someone who had been there during the darkest time. 3 years later, in 2011, Shirley's cancer returned. The ovarian cancer had metastasized, spread to her bones. The doctors said treatment could extend her life, but wouldn't cure her. Shirley called the hospice agency, asked for Anna specifically. Anna was assigned to her again. This time the care was more intensive. Shirley was in more pain, weaker. Anna came 4 times a week, sometimes 5. She managed Shirley's pain medication, helped her with daily tasks, sat with her during the worst days. Shirley's children visited occasionally. Her son Nathaniel came twice that year. Her daughter, Karen, came once. They were busy. Nathaniel was a corporate attorney in Denver. Karen was a senior executive at a pharmaceutical company in Phoenix. They had demanding jobs, young children. They couldn't drop everything to care for their mother. That's what they told themselves. That's what they told Shirley. Anna was there. That was enough. By 2012, Shirley's cancer stabilized. With treatment, the progression slowed. She wasn't in remission, but she wasn't declining rapidly either. She lived in a kind of stasis, managing the disease, living with it. Anna continued visiting. Even though Shirley wasn't actively dying, she still needed support. Anna came twice a week, helped with appointments, with prescriptions, with the emotional weight of living with terminal illness. Shirley's children visited a few times a year. Holidays, birthdays, brief visits, always rushed, always apologizing for not staying longer. In 2017, Shirley's condition worsened. The cancer had spread to her liver, her lungs. The doctors said she had maybe 2 years. Shirley was 81. She'd been living with cancer for 10 years. She was tired, but she wasn't ready to give up. Anna resumed more intensive care, 4 to 5 visits per week. Shirley was now on full palliative care. The goal was comfort, quality of life, dignity. Anna provided that. For the next 7 years, from 2017 to 2024, Anna visited Shirley over 1,600 times. Helped her through pain, through fear, through loneliness. Shirley's children visited maybe 5 or 6 times a year. Nathaniel came for Christmas and Shirley's birthday. Karen came for Thanksgiving if her schedule allowed. They called occasionally, but they weren't there. Anna was. By 2024, Shirley had been living with cancer for 17 years. Anna had been part of her life for all of it. Over that time, Anna had visited Shirley more than 2,400 times. Shirley's children had visited maybe 60 times total. The contrast was stark, and Shirley noticed. She told Anna more than once that Anna felt more like family than her own children. Anna always deflected. Said she was just doing her job. But it was more than that, and both of them knew it. Now the second person you need to know is Shirley Kral. 71 in 2007. 88 when she died in February 2024. Shirley came from money. Her father owned a regional trucking company across the Carolinas. She married Martin Kral in 1965. Martin was ambitious, built a commercial HVAC empire from nothing. By the 1990s, he was one of the wealthiest contractors in the Southeast. They had 2 children. Nathaniel in 1977, Karen in 1980. Shirley was a devoted mother when the kids were young, but as they grew up and moved away, her world shrank. Martin worked constantly. She spent her time at charity events, book clubs, garden parties. When Martin died in 2006, Shirley was devastated. They'd been married 41 years. She inherited everything. $8.1 million, the house, investment properties. But she was alone. Her children had their own lives. She understood, but it hurt. When the cancer came, it made the loneliness worse. She needed help. She needed someone, and that someone was Anna. Shirley wasn't naive. She knew Anna was paid to be there. But over the years, she saw that Anna cared beyond the paycheck. Anna came even when her shift was over. Brought flowers on Shirley's birthday. Remembered details about Shirley's life, asked about her late husband, her grandchildren. Anna listened, and that meant everything. By 2022, Shirley had been living with cancer for 15 years. She'd outlived every prognosis, but she knew her time was limited. She started thinking about her legacy, about who had truly been there, and she made a decision. The third and fourth people you need to know are Nathaniel Alexander and Karen Summers. Shirley's children. Nathaniel was 47 years old in 2024, a partner at a corporate law firm in Denver, specialized in corporate litigation, made over $620,000 a year, married, 3 kids, lived in a gated community in Greenwood Village. Nathaniel visited his mother 2 or 3 times a year. Christmas, her birthday, maybe one other time if he was in Georgia for work. He called her every few weeks. The conversations were short, surface level. He loved his mother, but he was busy. He assumed she understood. Karen was 44 in 2024, senior vice president at a pharmaceutical company in Phoenix, oversaw a team of 180 employees, made just under $890,000 a year, including stock options, divorced, 2 kids. Karen visited her mother even less than Nathaniel, maybe once or twice a year. She called once a month. Karen felt guilty, but not guilty enough to change her behavior. She told herself her mother had help. She had Anna. Karen sent money occasionally. Expensive gifts. She thought that was enough. Both Nathaniel and Karen knew Anna existed. They'd met her a few times over the years. They were grateful someone was taking care of their mother. It freed them from the responsibility. They never thought much about it. Never thought about what it meant that a stranger was spending more time with their mother than they were. Not until it was too late. In September 2021, Shirley called her attorney. Not Nathaniel. A private attorney she'd worked with for years. She told him she wanted to update her will. The attorney came to her home. Shirley was lucid, clear-minded. She explained what she wanted. Her old will left everything split evenly between Nathaniel and Karen. $4 million each. The new will was different. Nathaniel would get $450,000. Karen would get $450,000. The remaining $8.1 million would go to Anna Hendrix, her nurse. The attorney asked if she was sure. Shirley said she'd never been more sure. She explained that Anna had been there for her for 14 years through multiple cancer recurrences, through over 2,100 visits. Her children had visited maybe 50 times in 14 years. Anna had earned it. The attorney asked if Shirley wanted to tell her children. Shirley said no. She wanted them to find out after she was gone. She wanted them to understand what they'd lost by not being there. The will was signed, witnessed, legally binding. Shirley told the attorney to keep it confidential until her death. 3 independent doctors evaluated Shirley's mental competency before she signed. All confirmed she was lucid, capable of making informed decisions. No signs of cognitive impairment. Shirley lived for 2 more years. The cancer progressed slowly. Anna continued her care, 5 visits a week by 2023. Shirley was bedridden most of the time, in pain, but Anna kept her comfortable. In February 2024, Shirley's condition deteriorated rapidly. Anna was with her almost every day that final week. On February 18th, Shirley died peacefully in her sleep. Anna was in the room holding her hand. Nathaniel and Karen were notified. They flew in for the funeral. It was a small service. Anna attended, sat in the back, didn't speak to the family. She grieved quietly. She'd lost someone she cared about deeply. 2 weeks later, the attorney called Nathaniel and Karen for the reading of the will. They assumed it would be straightforward, split everything 50-50ths. The attorney read the will aloud. Nathaniel and Karen sat in stunned silence. $450,000 each. $8.1 million to Anna Hendrix. They couldn't believe it. Nathaniel was the first to speak. He asked if there was a mistake. The attorney said no. The will was clear, legally sound. Shirley had been evaluated by 3 doctors before signing. All confirmed she was mentally competent. Karen asked who Anna Hendrix was. The attorney reminded them. Their mother's nurse. Karen's face went red. She said this was insane. Their mother had been manipulated. Nathaniel agreed, said they'd contest the will. The attorney warned them. Contesting would be expensive, difficult. Shirley had taken every precaution to ensure the will was bulletproof. But Nathaniel and Karen didn't care. This wasn't about the money, they said. It was about protecting their mother's legacy, about stopping someone who had taken advantage of a vulnerable woman. The estate entered probate. Standard process. Even uncontested, probate in Georgia takes 90 to 120 days before assets can be distributed. Nathaniel and Karen filed a formal challenge. This extended the timeline, froze the assets. No one could receive anything until the court ruled on the validity of the will. Nathaniel and Karen hired a private investigator, told him to find anything he could on Anna Hendrix, anything that would prove manipulation, fraud, undue influence. The investigator dug. He found nothing incriminating. Anna had no criminal record, no history of financial impropriety. She was a hospice nurse who had cared for Shirley for 17 years. The investigator accessed the hospice facility's archived security footage. He found the clip from November 2019. The hallway embrace, the crying. He showed it to Nathaniel and Karen. They watched it and they saw what they wanted to see. Nathaniel said it was proof. Look at how their mother is crying. She's vulnerable, emotional. Anna is manipulating her, building dependence. Karen agreed. Said this was grooming. Anna had been grooming their mother for years, isolating her from her real family. The investigator cautioned them, said the footage could be interpreted differently. But Nathaniel and Karen didn't want to hear it. They took the clip, submitted it as evidence in their legal challenge, claimed it showed a pattern of emotional manipulation. The case went to probate court in May 2024. Nathaniel and Karen's attorney presented the footage, argued it showed Anna exploiting Shirley's vulnerability. Anna's attorney countered, called in psychologists, geriatric specialists. They reviewed the footage. All of them said the same thing. This isn't manipulation. This is gratitude. This is a patient expressing appreciation for years of compassionate care. The embrace is mutual, consensual. There's no sign of coercion. One psychologist pointed out that Shirley initiated the hug. She reached out first. That's not consistent with someone being manipulated. The attorney also presented Shirley's medical records, showed that 3 independent doctors had evaluated her mental competency before she signed the will. All 3 confirmed she was lucid, understood what she was doing, had no cognitive impairment. The judge reviewed everything. On May 12, 2024, the judge ruled the will was valid. Shirley had been competent. The distribution of assets would proceed as written. Nathaniel and Karen's challenge was denied. The estate would remain in probate for final processing. Assets would be distributed within 30 to 45 days. By mid-July, Anna would receive the $8.1 million. The footage was shown on local news. The story went viral regionally. Headlines read, "Children contest mothers will after she leaves fortune to nurse." Public opinion was split. Some sympathized with Nathaniel and Karen, said it was suspicious. Others pointed out the math. Over 2,400 visits versus 60. Anna had been there. They hadn't. Nathaniel and Karen were humiliated. Their names were in the press, their reputations damaged, and they'd lost. Within weeks, Anna would be a millionaire. Nathaniel and Karen couldn't accept it. Nathaniel knew the timeline. He'd worked in estate law early in his career. Once the judge validated the will, the clock was ticking. The estate administrator would finalize asset transfers within 45 days. After that, the money would legally belong to Anna. If she died before the transfer completed, it would complicate everything. Heirs, probate, reopening, delays, maybe even grounds to challenge again. But if Anna died after the money was transferred, it was over. Her heirs would inherit. Nathaniel and Karen would never see a dime. They had maybe 5 weeks. That's it. 5 weeks to act. In mid-May 2024, Nathaniel and Karen met privately. No lawyers, no spouses, just the two of them. They discussed options. Legal avenues were exhausted. But there was another way. If Anna died before the estate transferred the funds, everything would freeze again. Uncertainty, chaos. Maybe they could argue the will was invalid due to suspicious circumstances surrounding Anna's death. Maybe they'd get another chance. It was desperate. It was insane. But they were out of options. Nathaniel knew people through his law firm. He'd interacted with clients who operated in gray areas. He made a call. Within a week, he'd arranged a meeting with someone who could make problems disappear. The price was $65,000 cash. Nathaniel and Karen split it. They provided Anna's address, her schedule, her routines. The job was set for mid-June, before the money transferred. June 21, 2024, evening. Anna finishes her shift at the hospice facility, drives home to her small house on the edge of Dahlonega. She's tired, emotionally drained. She's been grieving Shirley, processing the trial, the accusations, the media coverage. She pulls into her driveway around 7:40 p.m., gets out of her car. A man is waiting in the shadows. He's wearing dark clothing, gloves, mask. He approaches quickly, says nothing. Anna turns, sees him, starts to speak. The man raises a gun, fires once. Back of the head. Anna drops instantly. The man checks for a pulse. She's dead. He drags her body to a vehicle parked nearby. Drives into the mountains, takes her to Chattahoochee National Forest, a remote area where hikers rarely go this time of year. He leaves the body off a trail. No attempt to hide it extensively. No attempt to stage a scene. It's an execution. Clean, simple. He drives back, abandons Anna's car on a fire access road, leaves her purse and phone inside, makes it look like she pulled over for some reason. Then he disappears. He's gone by midnight. The next morning, a jogger finds the body. The investigation moves quickly. Detectives notice immediately this isn't random. Execution-style killing. Body dumped in remote location, but no robbery, no sexual assault. This is professional. They start with people who had motive. Anna's family is interviewed. She had a younger sister in Atlanta. They were close but had no conflicts. Anna's ex-husband lives in Florida. Hasn't seen her in years. No motive. Then detectives learn about the will, about Nathaniel and Karen, about the trial, about the timing. The court ruled on May 12th. Anna was killed on June 21st, 5 weeks later, right before the estate would finalize the transfer. Detectives pull financial records. Nathaniel withdrew $32,500 in cash on May 15th, 3 days after losing in court. Karen withdrew $32,500 on May 16th. Both claim the withdrawals were for business expenses. Neither can provide documentation. Detectives pull phone records. Nathaniel's phone shows a call to a burner number on May 18th. The call lasted 3 minutes. Nathaniel claims he doesn't remember making it. Must have been a wrong number. Karen's phone shows text messages to Nathaniel in the days before the murder. Encrypted messaging app. The messages are vague but suspicious. References to taking care of the problem, to making sure things don't go through. Detectives get warrants. Search Nathaniel's home in Denver, Karen's home in Phoenix. They find more burner phones, more encrypted messages. Nathaniel's messages reference a contact, someone who could handle a job, the payment, the timeline. Karen's messages show she knew, approved, coordinated. Detectives track the burner number Nathaniel called. It's registered to a known criminal with ties to contract violence. The man's name is in a federal database. He has priors for assault, weapons charges. He's currently on probation. Detectives bring him in. He lawyers up immediately, but his financials tell the story. A deposit of $65,000 on June 22nd, the day after Anna's murder. The money came from an offshore account. Detectives trace it. It connects to a shell company. The company has ties to one of Nathaniel's corporate clients. The web is unraveling. The hired killer cuts a deal, testifies against Nathaniel and Karen in exchange for a reduced sentence. He admits everything. Says Nathaniel contacted him through an intermediary. Paid him half up front, half after. Provided Anna's information, her address, her routine. The killer says Karen was involved. She approved the payment. Both of them wanted Anna dead before the money transferred. Nathaniel and Karen are arrested on June 28th. The arrests are coordinated, public, deliberate. Detectives want the perp walk, want the optics. Nathaniel is arrested at his law firm in Denver. Mid-morning. He's in a meeting with senior partners and clients. 3 FBI agents walk in. Flash badges, tell him he's under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder and first-degree murder. Nathaniel stands, tries to maintain composure. They cuff him in front of everyone. His colleagues, his clients, the people he's worked with for 15 years. They walk him out through the lobby. News cameras are waiting outside. The footage airs that evening. Prominent attorney arrested for murder for hire. His face is everywhere. Karen is arrested at her office in Phoenix. She's in a boardroom giving a quarterly presentation to the executive team. Phoenix PD walks in with FBI agents, interrupts the meeting, reads her rights in front of the entire board, cuffs her in front of 12 executives. She's escorted out. Security footage from the building is leaked online within hours. Goes viral. The humiliation is complete. Both of their careers are over. Nathaniel is disbarred within days. Karen is terminated immediately. Their reputations destroyed, and the case hasn't even gone to trial yet. The trial begins in November 2024. The prosecution's case is overwhelming. The evidence includes financial records showing the cash withdrawals, phone records linking Nathaniel to the hired killer, text messages discussing the plan, the killer's testimony describing the job in detail, and the security footage from November 2019, the same footage Nathaniel and Karen used to try to prove manipulation. The prosecution shows it again, but this time they use it to prove motive. They argue that Nathaniel and Karen saw this moment of love and compassion and interpreted it as manipulation because they couldn't accept that their mother loved someone else more than them. That their jealousy and greed blinded them. That they killed Anna not because she manipulated their mother, but because she cared for their mother when they didn't. The footage that Nathaniel and Karen thought would save them becomes the evidence that condemns them. The defense tries to argue desperation, that Nathaniel and Karen believed Anna had manipulated their mother, that their actions, while wrong, were driven by genuine belief they were protecting their mother's legacy. But the jury doesn't buy it. The evidence of premeditation is too clear. The encrypted messages, the cash payments, the coordination with a hired killer, the timing. Everything points to calculated murder for financial gain. After 4 days of deliberation, the jury returns guilty on all counts. Nathaniel is convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Karen is convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and accessory to murder. She uses $1.8 million to establish a fund in Anna's name, the Anna Hendrix Compassionate Care Scholarship. It provides full tuition for nursing students who want to work in hospice and palliative care. The rest she invests, lives modestly, honors her sister's memory by supporting the kind of work Anna dedicated her life to. Before we get to what this all really means, if you've made it this far, you need to subscribe. Hit that button right now and turn on notifications because cases like this, where families destroy themselves over greed, happen more often than you think. Drop a comment and tell me, would you have left the money to the nurse or the children? I want to hear your thoughts. And share this video because this story needs to be heard. Now, back to the aftermath. Nathaniel and Karen lose everything. Their careers, their reputations, their freedom, the money they killed for. The irony is absolute. They visited their mother 60 times in 17 years. Anna visited over 2,400 times. Their mother recognized that, rewarded it. And when Nathaniel and Karen couldn't accept it, they committed murder and got nothing. Worse than nothing. They lost their lives, their families, everything. Anna Hendrix was 54 years old. She spent 17 years caring for a woman who wasn't her family, who didn't owe her anything beyond a paycheck. But Anna gave more than what was required. She gave her time, her compassion, her presence. And a dying woman recognized that, chose to honor it. Nathaniel and Karen saw that recognition as theft, as manipulation, because they couldn't accept that presence matters more than blood, that showing up matters more than sharing DNA. And their refusal to accept that truth cost them everything. This case is a reminder that relationships require effort, that love requires presence, that you can't expect to be valued if you're never there. Shirley didn't leave her fortune to Anna because she was manipulated. She left it to Anna because Anna earned it. Through 17 years of showing up, of being present, of caring when no one else did. Nathaniel and Karen thought they were entitled to their mother's money because they were her children. But Shirley's will was her final statement. Biology doesn't equal devotion. Presence does. And Anna was present for 17 years. That mattered more than any blood relation ever could. The security footage from November 2019 captured a moment of pure gratitude. A dying woman thanking the person who made her final years bearable. Nathaniel and Karen saw that footage and twisted it into evidence of wrongdoing. But the only wrongdoing was their own. Their neglect, their selfishness, their greed. And when that footage was shown in court during their murder trial, the truth was undeniable. They killed Anna not because she did something wrong. They killed her because she did everything right and they couldn't stand it. They killed her because they had 5 weeks before she received the money. 5 weeks before their last chance disappeared. And in their desperation, they made a decision that destroyed their lives for nothing. Anna Hendrix is buried in a small cemetery outside Dahlonega. Her grave overlooks the mountains, the Chattahoochee Forest where her body was found. Her sister visits often. So do former patients' families, people whose loved ones Anna cared for over the years. They leave flowers, notes. One note left by a woman whose mother Anna cared for in 2019 reads simply, "You gave my mother dignity. Thank you." That's who Anna was. That's what she did. And that's why Shirley Kral left her a fortune. Not because of manipulation. Because of love. The kind of love that shows up every week for 17 years, even when no one's watching, even when no one else cares. Nathaniel and Karen will spend the rest of their lives in prison, knowing they destroyed themselves over money they were never entitled to. Knowing they killed a woman whose only crime was being there when they weren't. And knowing that if they just visited their mother more than 60 times in 17 years, none of this would have happened. If they'd been present even a fraction as much as Anna was, their mother might have left them everything. But they weren't. Anna was. And that made all the difference.